Hello everybody, this is David StarTouch, founder of Survivor to Hero, and today we actually have a Star Citizen video on a config. It is the Logitech 3D Extreme Pro. We're booting up spooling the quantum drive as Star Citizen loads. I am getting into the correct spot, and we will then go from there. All right, it's up. So let's come back into this area. So before we get started, we're going to want to reset the controls. Sometimes Star Citizen has things that in these options that we don't want. Like I believe this is always missile control 4 or something like that. So it might say something like this. And we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we are going to load the blank one that I've included. So I'll clear this screen right here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go down to controls. And we're going to go to the full blank joystick config. It might say STH at the end as well. All right, and then we're just going to load the Extreme Pro. You can leave the keyboard and mouse blank if you like. That will not touch your keyboard or mouse settings that way. All right, and now this is empty, but movement should have stuff, and it does. Fantastic. Okay, we're good. Now we're going to also do one more thing. Go to game settings, and at the very top, scroll down a little bit to the flight area, and we want space brake engages boost. By default it's no, so change it to yes. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's this feature called global camera shake. It's normally all the way over here at 1. Just go and bring it down to 0. That's going to stop the screen from shaking as much when you're trying to get a handle of joysticks and things like that. It helps. I like to turn all the party names on, show contact distance, hostile nameplates, party names, and max out the distance I can see a nameplate for my party. And that's it. Also, just make a note, make sure this is set for yes. Exiting a vehicle when you press Y, it's going to require a 250 millisecond press, so you don't accidentally just do it in space if you bump it. Okay, let's jump to the key bindings. So at the bottom here, we're just going to scroll all the way to HoTOS. And as we do that, then we'll come to inversion settings in a minute. Alrighty. Advanced controls. Start at the top. So we did the blank, and then we loaded the HoSaM. And, or actually, I think we did the simple. Let me just double check. So I've got two here. I've got the HoSaM STH, and I've got HoSaM Simple. HoSaM Simple is the one I actually do want to use because it's a simplified version that should actually survive patches. Now I'm also going to choose keyboard and mouse, and let's check movement. It is there. That's fantastic. Then we're going to go over to keyboard real quick and make sure that's there. And it should be. There should be at the bottom here a F3 to request landing. I already built that in for you. So you can reset all of those, and you'll have a nice default. All right, so let's go through this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you on the keys here as well as we go through it what we're touching. And let's unlock these first 3. I don't have anything in vehicles and seats. I don't have anything in the cockpit. This is HoSaM, so this is going to be my throttle area, and I'm still going to use my mouse, hands on stick and mouse. And then we're going to go down to, so we're not using those. Turn those off, turn that off, cockpit's fine, vehicle view is empty. Flight view is really where we start. So roll is I've set for the x-axis. Now my intention is to make you as best pilot as you can. And that means when you're in an actual airplane, this is roll. This is going to turn your ship. Now by default, a lot of people set it to this. And that rolls the ship that way. And then this turns you. And that's called yaw. So we've got yaw set up. Oh, I apparently misclicked that one. Yaw should be here, and I've got yaw set up for the z-axis. And oh no, I don't. We're using HoSaM. Ha. Okay, so we're not using yaw at all on the left stick. Okay, so this is with your left hand for hands on stick and mouse. So what we're doing is we're going to have roll be over here on the x-axis. We're going to have strafe up to be this up area on the hat switch. We're going to have strafe down, be down. And then strafe left looking at this, something isn't quite right, but we'll adjust it in a second. That's what happened. All right, so roll is for the right stick, not the left. So let's just turn off roll. We don't need roll or yaw right now. We can change those later if we want to. We'll focus on strafe up, strafe down, strafe left, strafe right. Throttle is forward and back on the Y. All right. And then we've got boost, which is button 5. It's not this one. It's actually going to be this top left. That's boost. And when you press a key, sometimes it'll take you out of that. So, not turrets. We want flight movement. The intention here is boost is going to be on the top left, and then brake is going to be on the bottom. So boost is 5. Brake, SEM limiter is the trigger button. It's going to reset your SEM. That's putting you back at standard combat maneuverability. Again, this will change in the next combat patch, but nothing we can really do. We really want that now. Base brake is 3, and that's this bottom one here. So boost and brake. And we're going to try to stick to the same kind of configuration through this whole setup, is that kind of thing. So we don't do anything for quantum travel. Request landing, we've already got assigned to the keyboard, so this is pretty simple. You're using your mouse for yaw, so that's forward, back, that's pitch, and then yaw is right here. And your roll is, oh, that's why I put roll on here. I knew I didn't do it. I knew I did it for a reason. Okay, so roll, I put strafe left is here, is on the hat switch, and then roll is going to be roll right here. There. Roll is going to be over here on the x-axis. Left or right. Yeah, and that's so it matches EVA. And this is going to give you some extra control. And I believe that's all we did. Strafe up and strafe down. This gives you, anyway, you've got freedom of right and left here. We're not using the right and left yet, but you can assign it to any axis you desire. We have it actually set for strafe left, strafe right. That actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, so this is going to be strafe left, strafe right. So it'll take you this way or take you this way. And then up, down, and then you can use, it frees up the right and left strafe for something that you want, or you can manually do those. So this gives you right and left. I remember why I did that too. Alrighty, so now let's go down to, we're gonna go fast. Docking, quantum, all of that's done. Minimize the and vehicle targeting. So this is the next important part, vehicle targeting. We want to be able to have your right mouse be for combat and your basic maneuvers that you're used to. So for vehicle targeting, unlock target, we're going to set for button 4. Button 4 is going to be on the right side. Why does this look like the left? Did it get switched somehow? Oh, just because I turned it. All right, so this is the left side, and this is the right side. So we'll, it's kind of awkward. That's left, this is right. Okay. So button 4 is right here, bottom one. So that will unlock the target. I bet you can guess what the next one does. If you go to target cycling, button 6 locks the target. So on the right side, this side, I'm going to lock the target, and I'm going to unlock the target. Lock, unlock. So now it's easy to fire. Your middle mouse button is your missiles, right? And pulled me out of the screen. This is by far one of the most powerful setups for this. I really, really like it for a HoSaM. It gives you makes you almost as dangerous as someone with, if not more, than someone with 2 sticks because you'd be more precise. So we were at targeting, and we got unlock, and then for remote turret, 7, 9, 11. I put that here. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes getting a remote turret can be a little challenging. You got to like try to find it through the whatever. So I start here, I go here, and I go here. If I don't get in one that I want, that's it. So, oh, not the right turret. Press Y. There's the next one. and you're good to go. So Scorpius, I just press that, and I'm in the remote turret. Fantastic, great for flight or fighting. So, because I have to take my hands off, I don't want to do that too often. Then we're into target cycling. Forward 6 and reticle. This is the same as pressing T. All right, and then Alt T is the same as pressing the top or the bottom. So lock is forward, unlock is on the bottom. And that's it. That's all we do there. It's really super simple here. Next, we're going to go target hailing. See, there's nothing there. Radar. Button 2. What is button 2? It is this area right here. So this is going to do your ping. And this is helpful if you're mining, if you're trying to see any stealth craft or people that are pretty close. Or just scanning for stuff in general. Button 2, if you activate scanning. So this will... I'm going to actually turn that... Oh, that is a ping. Okay. This is going to be... You hold this when you want to scan something. Like you want to scan a rock. You just hold it. So it will do a ping, but then you hold it and it will scan what you're looking at. We don't have increased ping angle. Use your mouse or your keyboard for that. For mining, all we're really interested in is the fine-tuned control that we can get that makes this easier. So, slider. That is this in the back. This makes mining so easy, so much fun, easy to do. It's much easier than mouse wheel, in my opinion. Then we've got activate mining module, and again, 7, 9, 11. Because there's no remote turret, I'm just activating the mining modules. Like I'm in the prospector or the rock. All right, and that's all I'm setting for mining. And we're going to go down to turret movement. So for the turret movement, this is kind of your call. If you would like to use your joystick for turret movement, that's fine. Or you can use your mouse. I'm going to say let's use it for turret movement and actually set it here. So pitch, again, I left it blank in case things change, but it does make it simple. Yaw, that's to the side. And then that's really all I did. You can set any of these other commands if you want to these top 3 buttons, but or even bottom 3, I guess, if you're at the turret, because you can't jump in a remote turret. So that gives you 6 options here. I didn't really change anything here. What I did set this for is hat up is going to recenter your turret every time. So when you recenter, that gets you right on track. Now you're probably also going to want gyro mode. So what gyro mode is, the plane is going this way, or ship, and then the turret stays looking at whatever it's at. So I targeted here, the ship is turning, I'm still targeted this way. Ship may be going all of those different directions. That's gyro. If I redo to center, I can see what he's looking at, my pilot, who I had the other day. If I had gyro off, then I'm going to just, if they turn, I turn. So if I'm center and gyro's off, then if they're following an enemy, I don't have to do anything with the stick. I just keep doing damage. That's why I set it for here. You're going to want to probably turn that on and off in a battle. Number 5 is actually right above it. This is the speed limiter on and off. You probably won't use this that much. If you do, you can set it for this speed limiter relative as the slider. Oh, no, we actually don't want to do that. Don't want to do relative. We want to do absolute. My bad. Absolute is 0 to 100. Relative is splitting 0 and 50, 0. So if it was relative, it would be 50% reverse, 0 is in the middle, and then 100 is on the top. Now, speed limiters, I'm not so sure it makes that much difference for the turret. But what I would like middle would be average, and then full top. I like to set mine manually. That way I've got, when I'm doing turret stuff, both hands here, I can activate the speed control or turn it on or off, and then just adjust the speed. It's how fast the turret turns. Sometimes when you're doing micro movements, you don't want it to turn too fast. We set that to the slider. And that just can, if you don't want to deal with that, you just turn it on and off at button 5. Staggered and combined mode, I set for the left hat so you can turn it on. Adjust the fire of your 4 guns so they're either staggered, or they can go boom, 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 or combined. All right, and then movement type, I set that for button 5 on the top here with the speed limiter, so you can kind of adjust it. Feel free to turn that off. I forget what it does, and just use the keyboard if you like. I believe it's like the joystick style or not. Instant zoom, I find this is very helpful. This is the right hat, so you can see zooms really in to fire. And then turret change position. This is really more if you're in the Scorpius. Excuse me, into this huge hike, still recovering. If you're like in the Scorpius and you can move the turret down, you press this way and it would just move the turret down, move the turret up. That's what change position is. It does not count for up, down, right, left, moving the guns. All right, so that's it. We're done with turrets. Now let's go to the fun part, the fire weapons all. The only reason I set this is because it can have a benefit in certain situations. So we'll just tell you what it is now. It's 10, which is this one right next to the joystick, the middle. And that otherwise that's it. We don't do weapon group 1, we don't do weapon group 2. Right mouse button does your current group 1, group 2. This is group 1. And then sometimes you just want to like smack that and not whatever. I'm not sure why you would do it. Gimbal modes, we'll use a keyboard for everything else there. All right, missiles. Actually, this helps a lot. So when you're in mouse mode, you press down. Otherwise, you'd have to press G and take your hand off the throttle to change your missiles. What we want to do is be able to increase the number of missiles with a click, and that's what this is. So for 2, there. And when you're flying, that's just activate a radar ping. So you're already locking missiles, so it doesn't really matter if you give away your position a little bit. Unless you're going super stealth, and then feel free to use the keyboard. That's it. That's all we do. This is a HoSaM. It's a very simple setup. And, well, we're still going, but that part. Now, for a HoSaM, I think one of the most important things to be able to access, if your hands are on the keyboard or on the mouse, throttle, stick and mouse, HoSaM, you want to be able to access your decoys. So some people skip this, and then they're trying to use the keyboard, and you're still having to take your hand off the controls. So we don't want to do that. Button 11. Well, actually, first that's jumping ahead. Let's do deploy a decoy or noise. Noise deploy. I set that for number 8. Now number 8 is right up here. All right, so why is that panic punch? Oh, yeah, okay. So noise. Noise is if you have like an EM rocket on you, you usually don't have that much noise. You can disappear in this electromagnetic cloud. Now I set it for panic launch as well because that will fire decoys. Oh my goodness. No more protein shake time. And now we're coming to that. So decoys are great for getting rid of some missiles, but you don't always know what type of missile. So it's an EM. You can do noise, and that's panic launch. So you just press 8, and it takes care of you. So you don't know what to do. You just press this front thing. And that what I liked is it's like, oh, missiles. Come down, bam. Missiles, bam. And that's like, if you're in a short fight, who cares how many you use? Now, if you want to increase the decoy size or do it manually, that's what this is. So the way this works is you are going to launch and increase. And I thought this was set to something else. Interesting. Oh, well, when you're flying, yeah, you can set it to your turret 1. Now, if you're mining, if you set these to your things, that would be an issue. So we can also set it to, yeah, back here. That's actually what this is supposed to be, 12. So you hold down the back one here, and then you're going to tap to increase the size. Oh. Huh. Happened there. All right, so if we skip the fire all, we'll just skip that for now. Anyway, we'll just your decoys are here. We'll come back to this. I'm sure it will make sense as I get down. Now, yeah, so noise decoys, you know what they do now. You could still use the keyboard if you like, or the advanced thing to do is if you want to just, let's say fire all was actually launch a decoy, you would press and hold fire all, or press and hold a button, and then you would, right here, and then you set number 12 back here. Okay. 12 is to increase the burst size. And so I'm holding 10 and I'm 1, 2, 3. Now let go. It's going to send up that many decoys. I would say let's just figure that out as you go. And we'll just clear that for now. Increased burst size, tap. It won't actually do anything if we have it to 12. That's fine. All right, so down hat is going to reset your shields. Now that's if you have a forward, backward, left, right. Front shields, back shields, left, right, power setup. Most of us don't do that, and it's not used that much. It is in the game, but most people just don't use it. It's a little more complicated to keep track of. What's really important to do is have access to your power triangle. So with the power triangle, that is what puts power to your weapons. And that's obviously really important. So you can fire more. So when you're going in combat, I set it for hat up. There you go. Now we're ready to go for the target here. Max weapons, single tap. Now I also recommend setting that for 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of padlock. So one is just forward, where normally it's on this 5, 7, 8, F5, F6, F7, F8. If you're doing keyboard, we always reset it. But if you have a joystick, it's important to set it here. Max, weapon, engines max. I usually, what did I set here? I believe down. No, left hat. Okay. Left hat is engines max. Up hat is engine, or weapons. And then the right hat is going to be shields to max. So you can kind of just rotate that triangle to whatever works for you. And then reset assignments is down. So that puts it back to neutral. So you can rotate through and then back to neutral. Now you may remember this was also strafe, and setting your weapons around is just going to strafe you around a little bit and make your pip harder for them to hit, so it really doesn't hurt anything. Now we go to power. Nothing there, because we don't really want to tweak that when we already have a good setup there. All right, let's come back and turn those off, and I'm going to leave. I'll leave that up for now. Okay, so then we've got power. Again, said nothing. Flight HUD. Not going to mess with that. Lights, you could set some lights to something. I would just use the keyboard for that. On foot, this can be helpful. You could set move left to left hat, move right to that, move forward, up hat, move down. So you use their little strafing again. Yaw, X, Y. So yaw and pitch when you're walking. Now firearm attack, I set for button 1. And this is really just for the tractor beams. Sidearm, I set for button 2 to pull out the tractor beam. Button 5 in case secondary weapon is tractor, I forgot. And then holster is button 3. That's this bottom one. It's like sometimes you just don't want it out. All right, and then for the tractor beam to increase, you're gonna just use button 6 and button 4. Remember those on the right side. So you're gonna up, down, and that's how you do that. So you can use your mouse instead, but this just lets you do a little bit easier setup without having to flip the mouse all the time. So you don't have to spin it. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to jump forward. We just did on foot. And now EVA. This one I think is kind of, well, this one's really helpful. Bear in mind, we still have yaw and pitch with the mouse. So what we do is we set the roll to the X, this one. So you're going to roll an EV that way. You're going to strafe up with the hat, and you strafe down with the hat. Strafe left with the hat, right with the hat. So basically the hat, and we'll go back and make sure reset those then, or we can set them to a look. But make sure the hat basically is all the strafe options. Now strafe forward and backward is your X-axis. That's this. That's moving forward just like it's a throttle. So again, you don't have to really mess with anything. Your brake and boost are exactly the same. 3 is the bottom. That's brake. Boost is 5, the top one. Now I didn't assign push, push back, launch, detach, free look. I didn't do any of those. I do have free look set for button 2 here. So this lets you hold free look and then move the mouse around. a little bit better. So instead of yaw, you just hold free look. Gives you all your things. All right, free look hold. We could also set this for button 2 if you like. Vehicles, that's also activate scanning and increase the number of missiles. Yeah, that works still. I don't really mess with that too much. And why did that even say that for vehicles? Did I miss something? Oh yeah, so that lets you tap that to go into missile mode. Increase your number of missiles. And you go forward, it rotates through. And right click is change your missile type. So you've got everything you need there to basically be the same as the other pilot or HoSaS. Now fly forward or move forward is hat forward. There you go. Turn left, turn right. So you can control the whole vehicle just with the hat in general if you would like. Kind of. It's the turn left and right that might be a little bit of an issue. But you can go forward and then use the hat to turn, which can be just as helpful. Now, you can also pitch up and pitch down with this Z-axis, so that'll bring your nose up and down. I don't know why we necessarily need that, but it doesn't hurt. Brake is 3, and boost is 5. Again, very consistent. Now, what I set for throttle, forward and backward, is the Y-axis as well. So, I think I kind of alluded to that. That's it. We're pretty much done. Let me just make sure. I may have added one more thing. Button 2, proximity only. I set that for this, for push to talk. I hold it, and then I can talk to people in my ship members. That is also increased missiles, and what else is it? Free look, EVA, free look. Select the sidearm. That could be a problem. So you might want to turn that off if you don't want that. Activate ping. Doesn't really hurt in my opinion unless you're trying to be stealthy and talk to your proximity, but they might hear you if they add that in AI. And vehicles free look. So I think that's a pretty safe overlay, or yeah, multiple ones. And that's it. That's it. That's a HoSaM. You're all set. It is a fantastic little setup in my opinion. I'm just going to do a quick save so I have it. That this my tutorial in case you have any questions. But these are already up on the website. The only thing that's not there is the you might see what I'm doing. So misspelling it. But I went through and that once you just go through, you change it, and then you save it as your own. Then you always have your baseline of this HoSaM simple STH. That's it. I really hope you enjoyed this fast video. It was the initial setup walkthrough was an hour and a half, so I wanted to do a nice quick version and go through some of the setups here. I believe we covered absolutely everything. If not, drop a question in the comment. I'd also love to hear your comments in general. I will be reviewing probably the Thrustmaster later. I haven't some other videos on it, and because I've got this VKB setup that I really want to show, and that is going to be the next setup. So we'll stop recording here, and I'm going to upload this, and we'll get it on the webpage. That is survivortohero.com. And I believe I can show you what that looks like pretty quick. We'll just add a display. And I'll show you where you can find that. It's also going to be in the description. But just in case, you can now find it here. All right. So you go to survivortohero.com. And on the top right corner, you're going to see Star Citizen Controls resource page. Go ahead and click on that. And here's where I'm saving all of the config files. So currently, we've got the HoSaM that I put in there. I'm including all of them, the simple, the regular. They're in a zip file. Click on it, and it will download it. Then We've got the handle and stick for the Thrustmaster. So this has the Logitech, all the files in that one. And the original, or at least the HoSaM, the simple, the HOS, the Thrustmaster is coming. This is the really, really long video, and I'm going to replace that now. And here is the original best 2 flight budgets stick. That's these two. That's the using this is just a combat stick, and then a Thrustmaster, which is around here. I think it's far underneath the desk right now being stored as the throttle. And this is a little stiffer, so it gives you some control, a little more control in my opinion. Thrustmaster is much faster, and makes it a really great throttle. You can still have control, but I kind of like some of that for this particular stick. If you get your input switched, that's what this is. Let me just show you what that looks like. We'll copy 2 and 1 for now. Just going to copy this text. And then we'll go back into OBS. All right. Oops. I want to actually show. There we go. So if for some reason it gets switched, we press the tilde. Or not, well, it's the tilde area. Can you see this yet? Okay. All right, this is the left again, left side of the keyboard. And in Star Citizen, I'm going to just press this button next to 1, and it's going to pull up this console. Now that we're in the console, we're going to go through, and I'm just going to type pp _ resort devices space joystick space 2 and 1. What this is going to do is it's going to switch the joystick. So 0 actions moved from JS1 to JS0. 9 actions were moved to, I guess that's how many actions are available, even though none of them were there, from JS0 to JS1. So if I would need a second joystick for this to actually do anything. Now if I want to go back, now it's just moved from everything from the second joystick. 0 is 1, and 1 is 2. So it moved it from the second one back to the first one, which is this. All the controls are on this now. So that's just something to keep in mind, one way to do it. Now the last thing you might really want to do is go to inverse settings, light, movement, and I'm on the mouse. That's probably not where I want to be. I actually want to go over to joystick 1, HOS 1, first input, inversion, light, and flight movement, and strafe forward and backward always get switched for me. So I move it to yes. That means if it's not a yes, it's a no. When I go this way, it goes backward. Put the camera so you can see again. When I press forward, the ship goes backward, and I pull this way, it goes forward. I don't like that. So I go through and I switch this setting right here. Strafe forward and backwards. I just put yes, and then I move correctly. I don't know how the game does it. Sometimes for some joysticks it does it, other ones it doesn't. Maybe I'm just weird of how I like things. But if you ever have any issues where your inversions are going up or down the wrong way, that's where you come. Controls, move to the right joystick. That's joystick 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, 7, 8 joysticks. Cool. And then gamepad, mouse, it all applies. So if going like this goes you the wrong way in the mouse, you want to go this way, you can just invert that same thing. Invert pitch. All right, David StarTouch signing off. Give me a comment, and thank you so much for checking this video out. This is hopefully the short walkthrough compared to the hour and a half one, or almost 2 hours. Namaste.